The most important thing in creating something is to become a magnet for it, and you become a magnet by dropping into the attractor state for that thing. The attractor state for a particular thing is whatever state helps you notice that thing most clearly, most often, and most deeply. Whatever helps you connect with it most deeply, that's the attractor state. So if I want to create a loving relationship, then the attractor state required is for me to be able to feel, really receive and notice the constituent parts of that amazing relationship. Once I'm primed to notice, receive, and interface with those things, I've become the attractor, I've become the magnet for that thing, and I'm closing the functional distance between myself and that thing. When I say closing the functional distance between myself and the thing I want, what I'm talking about is removing the obstacles and creating a likeness between that thing and myself in here, okay? So neurologically speaking, there's a connection happening at the same time that externally there's a connection happening. So nothing that happens in the world or the external isn't also happening internally. You only know there's an external world through the internal world. And so they are essentially, I guess, I don't know, codependent, interdependent, whatever. If I go to the beach, then that experience happens in here. If the experience happens in here, that attracts me to going to the beach, okay? So these things go together. And the thicker that going together becomes, the thicker the bridge, love is a bridge. The thicker the bridge becomes, the closer I become, functionally speaking, to that thing. If the bridge is not there, neurologically, I go to the beach, it doesn't matter. There's no one there at the beach. There's no me, there's no system receiving beachness within it. There's no human. It's like a tree falling in the forest but not making a sound. It's like sound is not something that can be experienced in the absence of someone who has like hearing, you know, and a brain to receive that. So the whole point about the tree and the forest and all of this is just to get you to think about the relationship between external and internal worlds. When you become the attractor by being in the attractor state or by resonating at the frequency of the thing that you desire, we can talk about this in any different semantic set, any different linguistic, we can use whatever words, spiritual, scientific, mathematical, whatever you vibe, you can use. What we're talking about is as within, so without. As something unifies internally, it is simultaneously able to be interfaced with externally. So let's say my relationship with my mum is fantastic. So internally there's a unification, me and mum doing great. In the external world, when I actually see mum, my perception of what mum is and how to interact with her is completely different because my perception of myself relative to her is completely different. That's internal, but then it means that my external interaction is gonna unfold totally differently. So this is why when someone shifts something internally by accessing a different attractor state, their relationships seem to change, and people say, oh, other people have changed. Like everyone's changed. It's really cool. Yeah, everyone has changed within you. And what you think is them and what you think is you is all happening in this cycle of internal, external, which is neither one nor the other, but is in fact both at the same time. Nothing that happens externally is not simultaneously happening internally. Let's talk about the observer effect. Let's talk about all of this stuff. Viewing something in a particular way from a particular state affects the way that thing expresses itself, because there's always got to be a viewer in order for there to be a thing. So that's the essence of separation in the first place. So what I want you to become an expert in is separation. I want you to become an expert in separating yourself from whatever it is you think you want and then exploring how you would like to meet that thing when you meet it. Most people are trying to go towards what they want just by focusing on it, but they're focusing on it from an internal state, which is not the attractor state, which is not resonating at the frequency of, I can have this. They're in an internal state of essentially not having plus the image of the thing. When you feel not having plus the image of the thing, that's okay, provided your focus is on building the bridge between you and that thing in the most harmonious way possible. If I want to build a bridge between me and a dog that I don't yet have, then it's okay for me to be in a state of I don't have a dog, there is a dog that I want, provided my focus is actually not on not having the dog. It moves on to how can I build the bridge to become someone who can receive, have the dog, walk the dog, look after the dog, know the right dog when I see it. How am I going to know that I've known the right dog when I see it? What qualities am I going to be able to identify? What am I going to look for and bring out in that dog? What attributes am I going to encourage? How would I have to be in order to know those attributes, in order to be able to encourage them? What environment must I be in order for that dog to express itself beautifully? That's all the science of relating. It's beautiful, beautiful artistic science. So yeah.